Hey folks, welcome back to Where's Walter? Today we are making lobster mac and cheese. So the first thing the recipe calls for is 1.5 pounds of cooked lobster meat. I've got about 1.75 pounds of uncooked tails here. So I would recommend tails and or claws as what you're probably gonna do. So if you're gonna buy whole lobsters, you probably need about 2.5 pounds of whole lobster, maybe 3 pounds of whole lobster to get 1.5 pounds of actual meat. So this is about 1.75 pounds of tails. We might get about 1.5 pounds, but that's okay. So the first thing we got to do is cook these. I'm going to cook them the way that I do my clams and mussels on Christmas Eve. I'm going to do a little white wine, a little butter, and a little garlic. Come on. Turning the heat up pretty darn high. I'm going to add some white wine, just any old white wine, whatever you got sitting around the house will do. I want to make sure the shells really get down there in the liquid, so let's go ahead and add a really good, oh, that's really good. That's probably close to a bottle of wine. Can't have too much wine. All right, this is, I don't know, 8 cloves of garlic maybe that I just roughly chopped up, and then I've got 3/4 of a stick of butter. And we're just gonna kind of let that all melt down. And don't forget, while it's boiling, to pour yourself a little glass of wine while you're at it. Salud. Not bad. What is this? This is, I need my glasses now. I am 54 years old. All right, this is Dry Creek Vineyard Fumé Blanc. Fumé Blanc, really?
Fumé Blanc.
What the hell is that? What is Fumé Blanc? Sauvignon Blanc, vintage 2019. Fumé Blanc, what the hell? Garlic, wine, and butter. What else could, well, you know, we'll throw a little salt in there. Great little units that we got at Sur La Table. You just kind of put the salt in there, you just kind of grind back and forth, comes out beautifully. Highly recommend these. White wine, garlic, and butter. Now you can cook the lobster any old way you want to. I'm choosing to cook it this way. All right, we're boiling. Again, I wish that you had smell-o-vision because it smells great. I'm gonna go ahead and drop the tails in. I'm gonna put them in upside down. Don't want to crowd them. If they don't all fit in this first time, that's fine. I'll do a second cook. But let's see. Oh man, it smells so good. All right, I got 5 in there, and that's good. I'll just do these last 2 separately, just to make sure they all get a really good cook on them. I'll let them cook up for about 5 minutes or so. We'll see what they look like. Time to put a cover on them. Timer just went off. It's been about 5 minutes. You can see the lobster, beautiful red. The meat is nice and white, beautifully cooked. That's what you're looking for. Go ahead and take these out. Again, I wish you had smell-o-vision. The wine, the garlic, the butter smells so good. And when you're done, don't throw away this juice in here, because after we cut the lobsters out of the shell, we're gonna go ahead and immerse them in the juice so that they sit in that while we get the rest of the meal ready. All right, 2 more little tails to go. 5 minutes from now, we'll be ready to start cleaning up some lobster tails. So the easy way to open these is you just go ahead, there's your finished tail. You just break this part of the tail right off. Snapped right off very easily. And then I have, somewhere, and then I have a pair of kitchen shears. These are like really strong shears that cut through a lot of things real easily. And I'm just simply gonna cut right through the underside of the tail and get that soft underside off of there, and then just simply, all you have to do is just split this open. Reach your fingers in there and then guide the meat right out of the shell. Now these are very small lobster tails, but there you go. We get a nice little piece of lobster meat just like that. We'll cut it up. I told you we started off with about 1.5 pounds with the shells, and we ended up with 1 pound, 2 ounces, about, is what we actually ended up with the meat, just to kind of give you a sense of, you know, that weight change. So just because you buy 2 pounds of lobster doesn't mean you're getting 2 pounds of lobster. You're gonna get about 1.5 pounds, maybe about 1.25 pounds. But we got 1 pound, 2 ounces. Let's chop this up. And then we'll ladle on just a little bit of that luscious butter, wine, and garlic. just to keep it nice and moist while it waits to go into the mac and cheese. Lobster meat done. We're getting everything else ready. So we got a pound of cavatappi that's boiling up behind me right now. I've got my little paprika recipe manager that I've talked about a lot sitting here on this tablet. So we've got 12 ounces of Gruyere, maybe, cheese, 12 ounces of it in here. Plus I've got 8 ounces of extra sharp cheddar cheese in the bowl, ready to go. We've got a half a cup of all-purpose flour ready to go. We've got 1 full stick of butter that's been cut strategically. You'll see why later. What else we got? Oh, we've got a cup and a half of panko breadcrumbs. It called for regular breadcrumbs. We had panko in the house, so we're gonna use panko. Why not? And then 1 quart of milk. 1 full quart of milk will be used. So the next step that we actually have to do after the pasta is done, we're gonna go make a bechamel. And then we're gonna combine all the ingredients together and get ready to bake. You ready? Let's do it. So the next step is to warm up the milk. Now we wanna heat it up. We don't wanna boil it. We just wanna heat it up. So I'm gonna pour the entire quart in, right, Rebecca? The entire quart. There goes the entire quart. And I'll turn this on. On our stove, it's a 3. So it's like a low medium. While you're waiting for it to warm up, it's a good time to have another glass of wine. Cheers. Why don't we let milk boil? Anybody know?
Because it curdles and separates.
Rebecca says it curdles and separates. See, there's your lesson, boys and girls. Don't let the milk boil because it will curdle and separate. Very good lesson for the hot chocolate as well, which is also on this channel. I have a whipped hot chocolate and then a hot chocolate lesson on how to make hot chocolate. You should check it out. It involves milk and chocolate. Do you have something else to do? It's gonna take a few minutes. Y'all should go do something else. Seriously, like anything else. It's just watching water boil. Milk. Not boil. Not boil. Again, we're just trying to, are we trying to get it hot or are we just trying to get it warm? What are we trying to do here, Rebecca? Because it's warm now.
It just says heat the milk.
Heat the milk. So heat the milk to me means when I stick my finger in, it's warm. Here, just come on over here, just take a look. So I'm just sticking my finger in and it's warm. It's not cold anymore, so it's nice and warm. So the directions say heat the milk. So I'm gonna say the milk is heated. It's warm, it's not cold anymore. So now we're gonna switch out. We're gonna bring in, this is a beautiful all-clad stock pot, I wanna say.
Special pot.
It's a what pot?
I think it's not, I don't know, but it's chef's pot. I don't
It's
know,
a
but
chef's pot.
It's not a stock pot.
It's a all-clad chef's pot. In fact, this is what I cooked lobster in earlier. This is what we cook a lot of stuff in. You know, if you haven't invested in nice pots and nice cookware, do so. Get yourself some good cookware. I mean, this is about 4 or 5 years old now. Look at this thing. Beautiful shape. 6 tablespoons of butter going in. What's next, Rebecca? She's reading the recipe to me because, you know, we're doing it with a recipe.
Once that's melted.
Once that's melted, we're going to go ahead and add the cup of flour. Excuse me, half a cup of flour. We're getting there. Look, it's almost melted. We're almost there. It's getting there. Oh, so pretty. Smell-o-vision. YouTube, one day we'll have smell-o-vision, and then it will be awesome. The world will be awesome. Everything is awesome. So once this is melted, we're going to go ahead and add that half cup of flour, and then we're going to whisk it in and basically make a roux. A roux! All right, we're going to add the flour and we're going to whisk it for what, 2 minutes, you said?
Cook over low heat for 2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right, I'll tell you what, why don't you grab that GoPro and bring it on over so the nice folks at home can see what's actually happening in here. There you go. Bring it over, tilt it down in there. There you go. So we're going to cook this over low heat for 2 minutes. I'm going to reach over. I'm going to grab a timer. Set the timer for 2 minutes. Timer is set for 2 minutes, and now I am, should I be whisking this up the whole time, I guess? Rebecca's giving me a shoulder shrug, so that means neither one of us knows what we're doing. The fun part of cooking. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing, you know? Come on. You just have fun and you make stuff up in the kitchen. So this is a 1/2 cup of flour with 6 tablespoons of butter. On this particular stove, I've got it set down to a 3. 4 is a good medium on this stove. So they said low heat, so I've got it on 3, which is probably on the high side of low. Oh, how pretty. How's Rebecca's camera work, everybody? She doing a good job? So if you take a little whiff and it kind of smells a little bit like nuttiness, like it smells like nuts just a little bit, that's exactly what you're going for. Smells good. So now we're going to start adding the milk. We'll add it a little bit at a time. Stir it in. We want it to actually thicken up, so I'm actually going to turn the heat up just a little bit. So each time this gets a little thick, I'm going to go ahead and add another one. Why don't you go ahead, Rebecca, once again, pick up the camera and show people what we're doing in here. So we're adding the milk a little bit at a time and mixing it in with the roux. And as it starts to get thick, I'll add a little more milk. You don't want to add it all at once, because then it'll just be a big soupy mess and it's really hard to stir anyway. It's easier to stir if you just kind of keep blending it in. You can see it going from just thin milk to actually having a little texture to it. So Rebecca was saying that I probably added like the last half of that milk too quickly because it's really, really thin. I should have slowed down, let it thicken up a little bit between each of those stages. So now we're just going to let this sit for a bit and thicken back up. But now maybe not add the milk quite so quickly. I want to eat lobster mac and cheese, so I added it a little fast.
Oh, it's definitely getting there.
So a great way to test your bechamel is with a wooden spoon. You just stick it in there and then you run your finger down and see if it holds the line. And as you can see, this is. So that means the bechamel should be ready for the next step. All right, we're going to turn the heat off. Now it calls for salt, pepper, and nutmeg. However, we don't really like nutmeg, even though it's traditional. So we're going to do what, about a teaspoon of salt and pepper? About a 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, all right. We don't really measure. That looks pretty good. And then a teaspoon of salt. That's about a teaspoon of salt, and then the cheese, right?
Yes.
So I'm gonna just mix through the salt and pepper first a little bit. Remember, the heat is off. The heat is now turned off, and now we're gonna go ahead and add the cheese. And you don't want to use the whisk for this because that cheese will just get all messed up. Just gonna get our wooden spoon back out. And all we're gonna do now is melt all of that luscious cheese right into this bechamel. Oh my goodness gracious. And you all know what's coming next. We build this bad boy. Okay, look at that. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh my God. Oh yeah. Instant replay. How amazing is that? You should always taste everything as you go, especially when it has cheese. Oh my goodness gracious, look at that.
Does it need salt?
They could use just a touch more salt. Actually, could use a little more pepper. There we go. And a touch more salt. There we go. So we tested that out before we did the other stuff. All right, let's go back down. There we go. So if you recall, I said I was going to keep that lobster with all the juices in there. So now what I could actually do is add just a little bit of juice into this as well, which will, you know, that butter and garlic and wine that we cooked it in. So first I'm going to just go ahead, reach in with my hand and just pull the lobster out. Look at that. Look at that lobster. Oh my God. And then what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and pour in just a little bit of that butter, garlic, and wine. Oh yeah, there we go. Enhance the flavor even more. Oh my God, look at that. And next, oh my goodness gracious. Look at this, people. People, look at this. Oh, that's great. Oh wait, yeah, I'm gonna, yeah. Look at this. Oh my goodness gracious. This is like the best stuff ever. Oh, lobster mac and cheese in the house. Okay, back we go. All right, and then the cavatappi. So everything. This is why we chose a bigger pot as I lose some of the pasta off to the side. You didn't see that. You didn't see that at all. In fact, this is almost not big enough. Almost. Okay, that's a pound of cavatappi in there. I'm just going to reach over here and grab the ones that fell off to the side. How's that? Is that everybody?
No, there's 2 more right there.
2 more right there. Okay, well, as Rebecca knocks over the camera, reaching for them. Action shot. Oh, people, this is, oh, you need to get, oh, people, look at this. Lobster, mac, and cheese. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh. This looks amazing. Wow. Oh, look at that. You don't even need to bake it. We're gonna bake it, but you don't even need to bake it. Oh my God, it looks so good. Tell me that doesn't look, I dare one of you to tell me this doesn't look good. I will find you.
Well, they get a pass if they're allergic to shellfish.
No. I don't care if you're allergic to shellfish. Why are you watching this episode? Rebecca just said you get a pass if you're allergic to shellfish. If you're allergic to shellfish, why in the heck are you watching this episode? Go watch the ultimate mac and cheese one where you make mac and cheese without shellfish. Okay, next step is we're going to take our 1.5 cups of the panko breadcrumb. We melted 2 tablespoons of butter to mix in with it. And because, you know, you can never have too much cheese, we're going to add this much grated cheese. There you go. However much that was. And what you do is you just kind of mix the butter in with the breadcrumb. Now, some of you may say, hey, I don't want to use breadcrumb. I don't like to put it on top of it. That's fine. You don't have to. But we're going to put that nice crusty breadcrumb layer on top. And this is it. Just kind of mix it together. But now instead of just being breadcrumb and butter, now there's actual grated cheese in there. More cheese! Okay, I've got an olive oil spray, and I got a 13 by 9 baking pan right here. So we're going to give it a light spray. We like the olive oil spray. It's pretty nice. Okay, now, last but not least, we're going to add the pasta into here. And this is really a 2-person job. Just like that. Do this like that. We're going to drop it on in. Oh, yeah. Get all that cheesy goodness. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're not letting any of this go to waste, people. Look at this. Look at this. Get yourself a nice spatula. Scrape it all down. I don't know how much you can see of this with the way the camera's angled, but scrape every last little bit of that out of there. Oh, my goodness. Okay, just kind of, you don't need to mash it down, but I just want to go ahead and at least even it out. All right, last but not least, just go ahead and cover this up with breadcrumb. And anything that I drop on the floor, Molly the Wonder Dog will make sure she comes in and cleans up the floor for me. And this will go into a 375 oven. And if the top isn't quite brown enough for you after it's done, just simply flip the oven over to broil and make it a little bit crispier. So we got a 375 degree oven, and we're going to put it in for 30 to 35 minutes. See you soon. And mac and cheese. Holy cow. So that was in the oven for 30 minutes. And I didn't actually have to broil it at all. The color that you see on top is the actual color that we got out of it. So for 30 minutes. So all that's left to do now is to scoop it out into a bowl. Should probably let it rest for just a couple of minutes. You know, maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes. But let's let it rest for a couple of minutes and then we're gonna cut into this bad boy. All right, folks, here we go. I'm gonna lean in to see if you can hear this. Oh yeah, are you ready? Are you ready for this? Oh my goodness, look at this. Look at this. Oh, that is absolutely gorgeous. Coming on into the bowl. Oh, that is a beautiful, beautiful mac and cheese with lobster. Only thing left to do now is taste it. All right, lobster mac and cheese. Oh man, it smells so good. I can smell the butter, the wine, the garlic. I've got a little hunk of lobster in there. I don't know if you can see it. Oh my goodness gracious. It's hot. It smells so good. Molly's standing right at my feet hoping that I drop something. Oh, so good. What really makes it, you know, remember I cooked my lobster in the wine, the butter, and the garlic, and you can taste that coming through. Remember I added just a little bit of that to the mix. Oh, look at that little hunk of lobster right there. Oh, Rebecca, you might want to blow on it. It's hot. Oh yeah, right? You got some of that wine, you got some of that garlic, you got some of that butter coming through. Oh, people, lobster mac and cheese. You want to do this. And then also remember we have the ultimate mac and cheese if you just want the cheese without the shellfish in it. So folks, that's lobster mac and cheese. I hope you enjoyed this. Hey, if you like this episode, please subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you'll be notified when we have more episodes. And, you know, stay with us here on Where's Walter. You never know what we're going to do next.